everybody, welcome back to episode 2 of What Were They Thinking? And in this series, as I explained in episode 1, I'm going to be taking little musical phrases, licks, riffs that were very influential to me that I really loved, and I'm going to break them down, just small little musical sections to try to get in the head of the player who played it. In this case, it is Eric Johnson, and you heard me play the sequence that he plays in the beginning of his incredible song Zap, which is from his Tones album, which you can actually see right up there on the shelf. That album was a huge influence on me. I would love to be able to play like Eric. I think most of us would, and it seems like an impossible task at times when you hear him just rip through these fluid lines that he's known for. My first introduction to Eric was Cliffs of Dover on one of those little flexi disc sound pages that came in the Guitar Player magazine. And it turned me on my head, and it changed everything for me, and I started trying to learn things Eric did. And later when I got his album Tones, which actually came before the Avaya Musicom album, Zap just floored me, and that first lick in the beginning to start the song is just, I think, incredible. Everything from his tone to the way he cascades those runs. Just beautiful stuff. So you heard me do it a second ago. Let's break down what he was doing. First and foremost, what key we're in. Well, we're in the key of A flat major, F minor. He has those two things going on. Right in the start of this, he kind of starts it off with this kind of A flat power chord just to set the tonality, and then he goes through his run. I guess that harmonic at the end of it. So what is he doing? It looks like he's jumping all over the place. Now I transcribed this the best way that I think he probably played it. I watched his original video for it, which was probably not even him playing, but it gave me an idea of what position he played. You could play this all over the place. Eric does these kind of big jumps though in some of these long pentatonic runs, and you kind of see that at the end. So I think I've got it pretty close. Maybe I've changed it to work with my picking, and a little word about the picking. Anybody who really wants to dive into how Eric actually picks, go check out Troy Grady and his YouTube channel. He is the master of breaking these things down, everything from Yngwie to Steve Morse to Andy Wood, Eric Johnson. He's broken them all down, and it's fascinating stuff. I watch what he says and I kind of go, wow, I don't really play like that a lot of times. Some of the stuff I do, some of the stuff I don't. I kind of use a lot of directional picking, so I'm not suggesting that I'm actually picking this like Eric or even arranging the notes like Eric. But this is more just about where Eric got these notes from and how I feel he may have laid them out across the fretboard. So the first thing is, knowing that we're in that A flat major, F minor tonality, what we see Eric using here is basically straight pentatonic playing. He does add one note in from the blues scale though, just in passing, and it's just a beautiful run. So the thing you want to know would be your pentatonic shapes, and this is much like episode 1 where I talked about Brent Mason and the hot wired lick we looked at. Very pentatonic based, adding in notes from the blues scale, adding in notes from Mixolydian, the natural third, along with the minor third, right? In this, he sticks straight to pentatonic. Go check out my little video series that I had up a while back about kind of mastering the pentatonics. I'll try to put a link to that playlist below, and that'll get these patterns under your belt for you. The ones we need to know where he starts off is this A flat major pentatonic scale. And then where this is going to lead is into another pattern, which will lead finally to our kind of root position of F minor. And you'll see he kind of strings these together and also takes this pattern, moving it back to its first position. There's also one note borrowed from this pattern as well. So he combines those patterns, and where we start is here on our F note, on our 8th fret, on our A string. So he just kind of does these sequences up and down the pentatonic scale. You'll notice though that I do a slide into my C note here. which sets up a move into the next pattern. Here's that pattern again that fits in. So he starts off in this pattern. Shift up to our next pattern. Okay, again, I'm probably picking that very different than Eric. I'm not a straight alternate picker. I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up. In that case, it turns out that I do alternate pick it. Because that just works in the directional picking that I usually do. Okay, now, he makes a big jump up to our root position pattern. Up to the 15th fret F up here on our 4th string. So now I kind of do a little sweep here. A lot of guys would alternate pick this. Down, up, down, but I pick it down, down, down. Now this looks weird because you go, that doesn't really look like it's from any of the patterns. We're going F, A flat, B flat, and up to C. Okay. But what it's doing is it's straddling the 2 pentatonic scales. So he's taking the F and the A flat from our root position pattern, and he's grabbing the B flat, which also exists here. I just like it laid out like that because it kind of facilitates the ability for me to pick it the way I wanted to. So it's F, A flat, B flat, C, B flat, A flat, and then back to our F. And the thing you can do, like I mentioned in the hot-wired, Brent Mason hot-wired video, just take little snippets and play them till they're ingrained in your memory. Very small snippets. Right? And get that up to a certain speed that feels comfortable. And then move to the next one. And then string those 2 together. So now we see where that's coming from. We start off in this pentatonic pattern. We shift up to our root position one. And kind of straddle that position as well. So again, nothing outside of the A flat major, F minor pentatonic scale yet. We shift back to the original position we were in. And that's where the blues scale comes in. Okay, that little part there, which lies all over the place. Okay, so that's where the blues scale comes in. So where that goes, and this is probably where my picking kind of goes out the window, right? Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up. Most guys might go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down for alternate picking. I'm not telling you should pick this one way or the other. Whatever is going to work for you and make it comfortable for you. So now, this is where it gets a little weird. I do kind of a long stretch to probably kind of work better with my picking style. I don't know what Eric does here. Does he go to that, or I do this? So I'm borrowing another note from this part, this F minor, A flat major pentatonic. So that whole run then, up in our root pattern, all pentatonic with that one flat 5 blues note thrown in there. Now this is where it gets interesting. He goes back up to an F note within this pattern. runs straight down the scale, ends on the F. So 1 octave, pentatonic scale, shape we all know. Goes from this F, jumps all the way back to the same note, but back in our first position, root position, and does the same run. And then ends on that F note with a bit of a pinch harmonic. So, okay, so really just the same run twice in a row. And I find being able to associate this with a pattern that we're familiar with, it helps us to be able to remember what he was actually playing there. So the whole riff slowly then. So that's a bit of a jump. You've got to just try to keep that fluid motion going. And you get that kind of a thing there. So again, if we know these patterns, F minor pentatonic, you then can see where he's getting these notes from, and all he's doing is throwing in that one blues note. We should be able to go through all of our scales and know where that flat 5 blues note is in all of them. Regardless of where we are. And be able to throw that in wherever we want. And then we get those kind of runs that Eric kind of cascades down through. All right, what do you guys think? I hope you enjoyed that look at it. Nothing really ridiculously fancy going on as far as note choice. Really cool the way it's laid out over the fretboard though. And again, like I'm saying, I don't really have any way of knowing how Eric actually played this. Like I said, I've watched some videos of him. It seems like he makes these kind of moves that I'm doing. There may be a note or two out of place. This works for me because it kind of facilitates the type of picking I do, but Eric may arrange it very differently. Like I said, go watch Troy Grady's amazing channel where he breaks down in detail so many different players' picking styles, and it's really fascinating stuff. Whether or not you end up doing it exactly like that or not is not the point. It's just really fascinating to look into how some of these master players actually execute this stuff. So anyways, I hope that was helpful. Like I said, take your time with this. You know, break it down into small chunks. Practicing the moves, you know, the slides and stuff you have to do. If you can take it in those small pieces and then associate that with a pattern you're already familiar with, it really does speed up the process of learning it. Take it slow, grab a metronome. I think I was playing this up around 130 to 135 beats per minute, somewhere in there, in that little intro part, which is, I think, somewhere around where Eric does it. Again, this is kind of free time, right? He's not really playing to a click in the beginning. He's kind of just ripping down the fretboard. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like the video. I hope you're enjoying this series. Share it with anybody who you think would get enjoyment out of watching it, or that would get some use out of it to help with their own playing. And please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thanks so much again for tuning in. Ciao for now.